Right, just about to get started. I've got my reference book here. There's a little railroader. I've got a rough idea of my track layout. It's not a track plan. I've decided to go modular. There was a section in the book about doing a modular design. There's some stuff in here about open bench work, open grid, solid top, etc. And so I've decided that I am going to go modular. I'm going N-gauge, so I'm going to use the N-Track spec. And I've got a 15-foot square space, so done some research. I do want to do continuous runs, so I'm looking at 10-foot run here, do a turn, another 10-foot run, do a turn. I did some research, came up with a couple of stations I want to incorporate, not exact replicas, but a rough idea. So Barnstable, for example, will be one end here, so start off in the south of England, then head up, hit Bath. Bath would be quite good because it's got a river in it, and it curves through the station, so that might be quite good for a corner module. And then ending up in Abingdon as another terminus. So like have a terminus here, through runs, another terminus here, but loop around the terminuses too. So even though it really is a terminus, I'll keep the main line running, be double track, go around, run around behind actually the scenic backdrop is the way I've decided to do it. So I went and got like the real track plan for Barnstable, Victoria. Decided that'll be my first module. I just did some rough playing around with track, found it doesn't fit 4 foot, which is how big I was going to have as a module. And also, as you can tell, it's sort of goes from left to right, but I want to put it down here, so from the point of view of I have to kind of essentially flip the plan backwards, and then that would mean if I'm viewing it from this side, then the goods shed's going to be on this side, and then I'd be looking at the station at the back. So I've actually decided to kind of flip it around again, so I can be at the front, have the station. So all I did was literally flip the piece of paper over and retrace the lines on the back. So I'm going to use that, like I said, as a sort of as a prototype, but I'm not going for scale. So now I've got my insulation board. It's just 2 foot wide sections of 1-inch foam board. I just bought some pieces of wood, so I'm going to have these wood sections as my frame. Drop in about 1 inch so that the foam board will fit flush here, and basically put supports at right angles, and the foam board will just sit on the support. So that's the plan. Let's see how we go. We're going to start off with making the first section, which, as I say, is going to house Barnstable. Should be 6 foot long. Then I'll have a 1 foot section either side to have the return loops on, and we'll see how it turns out. So a couple of minutes later, I don't know, 10 minutes later or so, I now got 4 cross braces, 2'6" each, and 2 end pieces, which is slightly more than 2'6" each, because the 6 foot sections have to come down and connect here, so there's enough room there for that to happen. Then 2'6" across, and then the other side will come out the other way. So some assembly now required. So a short while later, we have our frame. So 6 foot sides, 2'6" across, and we've got cross braces here every 18 inches. We're going to go put the foam board in. It's fingers crossed it fits. So there was the plan I was working with. A couple hours of activity is now past. There's the frame, and now I put this in. Started with the main line. Supposed to come in, have the station area and platform. So you come in from double, got a crossover, take it into a single line, set of points here, comes out to where the station would be. So the station platform is going to be in here. Station would be here somewhere. And we had some various crossovers here and a cattle grid. I ran out of space, so I actually deleted one of these lines in here. So instead of there being a cutback and then a central track and then the cattle and the two terminating lines there, I've ended up with, this is the station line. Got a little extra so we can cut the train across and do a runaround, but I lost the line in the middle, so the cattle pen would end up going here. The two lines that end up abutting the edge of that platform, and then at the back we've got where the goods shed should be. And I took a little also poetic license and figured there'll be some kind of a turntable because it is a terminus and I do want to turn the trains around. So there's my 6-foot section, starts here. The backdrop would be just the other side of the turntable, so those two lines in the background would be behind the backdrop. Ignore the extra space at the back. That is because right now I've got the line at the front and there's supposed to be a 4-inch gap if we're doing end track, so the whole insulation board is gonna move back by 2 inches to 4 inches. Then I got right now my temporary turnaround modules. I'll have to build them out properly into frames, but it was just so I could test everything out. I got my power just wired up in one spot. You can see just resting the foam board on the cross braces, so it's all very light and very flexible. Proof of the pudding will be in the running of the train. I do have, this is what started it all off actually. Bought this set last time I was back home. Ran it around, just the little piece of track that came with it. A bit disappointed to find I did actually have a British Rail livery. I've got LNER, which really isn't going to go very well with the it's not going to go very well with the theme of Great Western. I did as I was going along made sure that I was going to have enough space based on the number of coaches, so this platform will accommodate a train about 4 coach lengths long. The whole idea behind this layout was going to be so that I could piece the modules together for long runs. So time for a test run. I think I'll put these coaches on, get the train in place, and we'll see how it goes. Right, so let's see how we run then. Hopefully nothing embarrassing is going to happen, like the thing is going to fall off the track, or it's just going to plain stop and refuse to move. I think I've probably got some electrical kinks to work out here. So this will be on the hidden track. That too would be hidden behind a backdrop. And there we go, our first circuit. So I guess next job will be to run the train around all of the tracks, make sure that we've got all our connections in place. So I'll give that a go in a sec. So we're also able to successfully navigate the inner loop. Yeah, I agree that 9-inch curve on the inside, 11 on the outside. 9's too sharp to have it visible, I think. So on the outer track I do have 19 inches wherever the train's going to be visible. So these in here, these are 19, so we've got a more gradual bend. This is 19, that's a half of a 19, that's 19. 19 on top of a set of normal points puts the track parallel, so that worked out alright. So let's see, I've set the points here, see if it'll run in properly. There we go. I'm going to grab the controller so I can turn it off, and so I've got plenty of clearance there for the train to now kind of run around. I'll just make sure it runs down each of the pieces of track in turn. There you go, successful first run. Now the hard part starts, all the scenery, laying the cork, ballasting. So my plan this time is to first make sure these dimensions are right before I go sticking cork down. Get the platform width measured here, make sure the station building is going to be able to fit here, figure out what to do with the roadways, planning a road to come over here. So I have this part as a bridge, as a scenic break, then it needs to slope down enough for a road to come in here for access to the station, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. Also another road as this main road carries on, needs access in here, A to the cattle pens, and then B to the goods shed. I just marked out real roughly where the goods shed would be going. So that's it for first update.